Hello everyone and welcome to our today's discussion on openings, and we'll start with the introduction to openings. Here are the outcomes of the topic. Number 1, define the opening. Type of openings, factors considered when choosing an opening, and general rules for making openings. Definition of an opening. What's an opening? Opening is a functional and decorative element of a garment through which the wearer can put on and off the garment. This is I cannot call it a detail, but it allows us to put on and put off the garment. Here are types of openings, and these are just but some of the example. I'll require the learner to further go and read on the topic. Number 1 type of the opening is faced opening. This type of opening is always found on the center front of a blouse, a shirt. Yes. Next is a box pleat. Box pleat mostly found on the gents' shirts. Continuous wrap opening, placket opening, false placket opening, bias band opening, fly opening, seam opening, overlap opening, and lastly gathered opening. Factors to consider when choosing an opening. The age of the wearer. For example, the continuous wrap opening is suitable for children's back opening. Number 2, position of the opening on the garment. Example is a continuous wrap opening that is mostly found on the wrist opening. The type of the fabric to be used. Light fabric are better to be used for making opening like continuous wrap opening. Using a light fabric to make a continuous wrap opening, especially on the wrist, is to avoid the bulkiness. Or when using a light fabric, you don't have to use a heavy fabric to make the opening or to finish the opening. The design of the garment. The opening should match the outfit. Do not use a poor design of the opening to an expensive outfit, or use a low quality fastener on a high quality fabric. This will make the garment look of a low quality. Number 5, type of the fastener required must be considered when choosing an opening. For example, when choosing a zip fastener, you must consider which type of opening you have to apply. When using a button, especially on a faced opening, you first have to work the opening before you place the fastener. Number 6, the length of the opening. Do not put or exaggerated length of the opening on a garment. Number 7, the stitching method to restrict the straining of the fabric. The stitching method should be able to hold the garment or the pieces firmly to avoid tear or wear, because at the opening is where there are a lot of strains when putting on and putting off of a garment. General rules for making openings. If an opening is a slit made on a garment, it should be worked before the seam. If an opening is made within a seam, the seam should be made before the opening. especially when making a seam opening. We first make the seam and then we leave the space for the opening, or where the opening is supposed to be, we place temporary stitches as we reinforce the ends. The opening should be long enough to allow the garment to be put on and taken off easily. The position of the opening should allow the garment to be fastened appropriately. The opening should be worked on double layer of fabric. This is to make the opening look neat by enclosing the raw edges of the opening and decorative in a way also that of using a contrasting color to that of the main garment. All openings should be cut straight to the warp or selvage. Thread wherever possible, except when the opening is continuation of a seam. Why cut on a straight over warp or a selvage? In a fabric, we have the weft threads and the warp threads. The weft threads are the weak threads in a fabric, while the warp threads or the selvage are the strong threads on a fabric. And these will make the opening stiff and not to continue tearing. Activity. As the lesson ends, we now look on this activity. Name 2 classification of openings. Procedure of working a continuation wrap opening. Do more research on these questions so that you can better understand on the topic. Next time when we look on these classifications and various types of openings and procedures of working the openings, we'll better understand on this. Hope you have understood on the introduction of openings. Until next time, goodbye.